the modern world envelops us in a bubble of comfort. We have climate-controlled homes, supermarkets overflowing with food, and instant communication at our fingertips. Yet beneath the layers of modernity, we are still drawn to the echoes of our ancestors, to a time when life was raw, challenging, and deeply connected to nature. This is a journey back to the Stone Age, a glimpse into a day in the life of our early ancestors. Imagine waking up not to the insistent buzzing of an alarm clock, but to the soft chirping of birdsong. Dawn paints the sky in hues of rose and gold, filtering through the rough-hewn entrance of your shelter. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of damp earth and wood smoke. This is your reality, a world where the sun dictates the rhythm of your day, and the wilderness is both your adversary and your provider. Step out of the familiar narratives of history books and into the shoes of these early humans. This is not just a story, it is a portal to a time long past, a time that shaped humanity. Shelter in the Stone Age was not about luxury, it was about protection. Caves, with their natural rock walls and overhead cover, provided the most secure refuge from the elements and predators. Finding a suitable cave was a stroke of luck, a valuable resource fiercely guarded by families or even entire clans. In regions where caves were scarce, our ancestors used their ingenuity to create shelters. They built huts from branches, animal bones, and hides, ingeniously using natural materials to construct sturdy and weatherproof homes. These structures, while rudimentary, represented a triumph of human innovation, a testament to our ancestors' ability to adapt and thrive in diverse environments. The construction of these shelters was a communal effort. Every member, from the young to the elderly, contributed to the task, strengthening the bonds within the group. Life in these shelters was simple, centered around the necessities of survival. It was a life lived in the present moment, where survival was a daily triumph, and every sunset signaled another day conquered. Clothing in the Stone Age served a purely functional purpose: protection from the elements. Forget about fashion trends or intricate designs. Survival dictated every stitch and seam. Animal hides, painstakingly scraped and cured, were the fabric of choice, providing warmth during the harsh winters and protection from the scorching sun. The process of transforming an animal hide into wearable clothing was a laborious one, involving a series of steps that required skill and patience. First, the hide had to be carefully removed from the animal's carcass. Then it was stretched and scraped to remove any remaining flesh or fat, a smelly and physically demanding task. Finally, the hide was treated with natural substances like animal brains or urine to soften and preserve it, making it pliable and durable. In colder climates, people wore thicker furs and hides, while those in warmer regions opted for minimal coverings. Clothing was more than just a physical necessity. It represented a connection to the natural world and their place within it. Each garment told a story of the hunt, the animal it came from, and the hands that crafted it. In a world untouched by agriculture, hunting was not a pastime, but the very lifeline of the Stone Age community. It was a perilous dance between predator and prey, a test of skill, strategy, and courage. Armed with spears tipped with sharpened stones and clubs fashioned from sturdy wood, the hunters ventured into the wilderness, their senses keenly attuned to the slightest rustle or movement in the undergrowth. Every hunt was a gamble, a delicate balance between risk and reward. Success meant sustenance for the community. Failure meant hunger and the constant threat of starvation. The hunters relied on their deep knowledge of animal behavior, tracking their prey with patience and precision. They learned to anticipate their movements, exploiting their weaknesses, and using the terrain to their advantage. The thrill of the chase, the adrenaline surge as they closed in on their prey, was a primal instinct honed over generations. They respected the animals they hunted, recognizing them as fellow creatures in the intricate web of life. A successful hunt was a cause for celebration, a testament to the hunter's bravery and skill. While hunting provided crucial protein and fats, gathering edible plants, nuts, seeds, and fruits formed the backbone of their diet. This task, often relegated to women and children, was far from being a passive activity. It required an intimate knowledge of the land, the ability to identify edible plants from poisonous ones, and the patience to collect enough to feed the community. They ventured into the wilderness, their eyes scanning the forest floor for telltale signs of edible plants. They knew the subtle differences in leaf shape, the telltale colors of ripe berries, and the time of year when certain roots were safe for consumption. This knowledge, passed down through generations through observation and oral traditions, was their compass in the vast and often unforgiving wilderness. Their days were spent scouring the landscape, their fingers nimble as they plucked berries, dug up roots, and collected nuts in woven baskets. They moved with a quiet grace, their movements in harmony with the rhythm of nature. The act of gathering went beyond mere sustenance. It was a spiritual connection to the earth, a recognition of their dependence on nature's bounty. They understood the delicate balance of the ecosystem, taking only what they needed and ensuring that enough was left to regenerate. This sustainable approach to gathering ensured the continued abundance of their food supply and fostered a deep respect for the natural world. The discovery of fire marked a turning point in human evolution, forever altering the course of our species. It was a source of warmth in the bitter cold, a beacon of light in the darkest night, a deterrent against predators, and a tool for cooking, transforming raw food into safer, more digestible meals. Creating fire was a laborious process. The most common method involved striking flint against iron pyrite to create sparks, which were carefully coaxed into flames using tinder, dry grass, leaves, or bark. The fire, once kindled, was meticulously maintained, guarded against the wind and rain. It became the heart of their dwelling, a focal point for social gatherings, storytelling, and the transmission of knowledge from one generation to the next. Beyond its practical uses, fire held a deep symbolic significance. The ability to control this powerful force of nature set humans apart from other animals, marking a significant step in our cognitive evolution. Life in the Stone Age was not about rugged individualism. It was about the power of the collective. Survival in such harsh and unpredictable environments depended on cooperation, shared responsibility, and mutual support. Each member of the group, regardless of age or gender, played a vital role in ensuring the survival of the community. The hunters relied on the gatherers for their knowledge of edible plants and their ability to supplement their diet with fruits, nuts, and roots. The gatherers, in turn, depended on the hunters for protection and for the meat that provided essential nutrients. This interdependence fostered a deep sense of community and shared purpose. Children, far from being passive observers, were active participants in the daily life of the community. The elderly, revered for their wisdom and experience, played a crucial role in transmitting knowledge to younger generations. Language, as we understand it today, with its complex grammatical structures and vast vocabulary, was still in its infancy during the Stone Age. Yet, our ancestors were far from being silent. They communicated through a combination of gestures, vocalizations, and body language, a system of communication that was as nuanced and expressive as any spoken language. A raised eyebrow, a knowing glance, a pointed finger. These were the building blocks of their communication. They mimicked animal sounds to warn each other of danger, conveyed complex emotions through facial expressions, and used their bodies to tell stories, enacting scenes from hunts or recounting significant events. This form of nonverbal communication fostered a deep sense of empathy and understanding within the group. They learned to read each other's subtle cues, anticipating needs and offering support without the need for words. Their communication, though different from our own, was no less effective in conveying meaning and building strong social bonds. Even in the absence of a shared spoken language, they found ways to connect, cooperate, and thrive as a community. This ability to communicate effectively, despite the limitations of their language, played a crucial role in their survival. In the harsh reality of the Stone Age, where survival was a daily struggle, it might be easy to assume that there was no room for creativity or artistic expression. Yet, amidst the challenges of their daily lives, our ancestors found ways to express their inner world, leaving behind a legacy of art that continues to captivate and inspire us today. In the depths of caves, illuminated by the flickering light of torches, they painted on the walls. Using pigments derived from crushed rocks, charcoal, and even animal blood, they created breathtaking murals depicting scenes from their lives. Herds of galloping horses, majestic stags, and hunters frozen in the act of throwing spears. These cave paintings were more than just decorative art. They were a form of visual communication, a way of recording their history, expressing their beliefs, and connecting with the spiritual world. The act of creation itself, the meticulous application of pigments to the cave walls, was a ritualistic practice, a way of imbuing their surroundings with meaning and purpose. The creation of art, even in its most rudimentary forms, highlights a fundamental human need for self-expression, a desire to leave behind something of ourselves in the world. Their art, born from the heart of their daily experiences, provides us with a window into their world, their beliefs, and their aspirations. The Stone Age, often perceived as a primitive and backward period in human history, was, in reality, a time of incredible innovation and adaptation. It was during this era that the foundations of human civilization were laid, the seeds of agriculture sown, and the first sparks of creativity ignited. The legacy of the Stone Age lives on, not just in the tools and art they left behind, but in the very fabric of our being. The challenges they faced, the constant struggle for survival, the dependence on nature's whims, the importance of community, shaped our ancestors' physical and mental capabilities. They developed problem-solving skills, honed their ingenuity, and learned to cooperate and communicate effectively, traits that have been passed down through generations and continue to define us as a species. The values they held dear, the importance of community, respect for the natural world, and the power of collective effort, are values that resonate even today. The Stone Age was not simply a prelude to our modern world. It was the crucible in which humanity was forged, a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and creative spirit of our species.